I'm going to take you back just to start with to 2014. Bumble is a dating app. It launches and it grows faster than we could have ever imagined in the US. My founder, CEO, and friend Whitney Wolfe Herd comes to me, and I'm living in London, and she says, I've got this product. It's a tech product, it's an app, and I need to take it overseas. We're growing faster than we can keep up with. We are ahead of the curve in terms of the movement, and the mission I need to achieve needs to be one that is global. I'm working in fashion. I think I'm way too cool for school, and I've never used a dating app. So I say, no thank you. I'm going to stay working for Converse and Uniqlo and Levi's and building these iconic stories through the PR work that I was doing. And then she called me back, and she explained to me through her emotion and her vision why and how and what this was supposed to achieve. We were trying to end misogyny. It was an app that started in dating to reverse engineer the way that women saw and thought about themselves in the space of dating. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about technology and emotion and how they need to work together with respect of both parties to create not only a business but a society that's beneficial for all of us. So when we look at this slide in terms of visuals, what do we see? Isolated experience, programs, technicality, science. That is the foundation of technology. And the problem is when it comes to that, what happens is we stop interacting and we stop connecting. But it's an absolute fundament that we will continue to use technology as innovation increases. And what do we see here? Connectivity, romance, irrational, the opposite of technology. This is an unprogrammable experience of connectivity that we all know is the foundation of happiness and where we're all trying to get to. But what if we could bring them together in a way that was respectful, that was based on trust of both of those components? What world could we live in then? And up until, I believe, brand Bumble was built, technology sat over here, and emotion and feeling sat over here. And what we tried to do is find a way to build a business that was different. It was led with emotion, the human, a focus on the way that we feel and the way that we enjoy interaction as people. And then it was enabled through product and as a technological experience. And the idea here is that if we bring the two together and they can work in conjunction with each other, we could actually create experiences that we would never be able to have without it. Following on from that, we made a commitment not only to innovate through human experience, to give back to the greater social of play, but also continue to innovate through product evolution. So how did it start? Before we'd even thought about the product and what the UX experience was, we looked at our opening tagline, and this was it: the current state of play for gender equality. We recognized and realized that we were still living in a point of the world where women weren't going after what they wanted. They didn't feel empowered or in control of asking for pay rises, for getting that job. Women still weren't going up to men in bars, in restaurants. There was this engineered expectation that men should lead and women would follow. And so this started what we hope our brand can continue to be. It leads with what we need to change, and then we bring in the product. Be the CEO your parents always wanted you to marry, and then find someone you really like. And it took off because the mechanic of the product reaffirmed what that message was. On Bumble, when you match with a guy, he cannot contact you. You as a woman make the first move. You lead that conversation, and in doing so, we were reverse engineering the expectations of behavior. It sounds incredibly simple when I say it, but no one had ever done it before. So we took the emotion and the fundamental inequality that was happening at the social state of play, and we programmed a product to reverse engineer that. And this is really it in a nutshell. For anyone starting a new business, any entrepreneur, we would always say this to them. Instead of looking for the success points, which other brands have done well, where do I see success in business? Look for the problems. Where did they miss out? What haven't they done yet? What am I feeling when I wake up and I go into work? Where are the problems in my everyday routine? And what can I create to fix that? And then what revenue streams can I pull and diversify from that to create a really profitable business? And it all was around one opening statement. And this is extremely important when building a brand. Do not overcomplicate. Do not use incredibly smart academic words that your customer won't understand. It needs to be directive, and this was ours. Make the first move. Incredibly straightforward. Who wrote the rules that women shouldn't make the first move? Nobody knows. And what we are trying to do here is say, both online and offline, this will be the foundation of all of our pillars of values. And then from that, what we did as the senior exec team, as we sat as women who are married, single, who had struggled in relationships, who were empowered, who felt insecure, and we sat as a representation of society and said, how are we going to define our mission? So we had our overarching umbrella statement, but how did that diversify into the way that we were going to conduct our business? Bringing people together was at the real kind of core of that. And we wanted to make sure that we didn't just do it in dating. So very quickly after its success in the UK and the US, we moved into 3 different modes: dating, friendship, and business, the 3 most fundamental categories of our lives. It's what we're all seeking to achieve. We want to find love, we want to have fun with our friends, and we all want to have a sense of purpose through our career. So now the product exists with these 3 verticals. In every single one, the woman makes the first move. For context, we have a 55% to 45% male to female ratio. It's the most equal of any other platform out there. And this is a 6-step approach that, I kind of made it up, but I also think it's pretty legit. It's a 6-step approach to how we got there, so that anyone that's making up a new brand, coming up with new innovative ideas, I think it's a really straightforward rule book and toolkit to creating it. Value system. I touched on this briefly before, and I'm going to just scoot through it because I'm low on time. But we identified the key core foundations that would make our business stay solid on the ground. And then what we ensured is that we integrated it both in all of the work that we did, but also in our internal culture. The most important part of any business is how you A, treat yourself, B, treat your team, and then how you communicate those feelings with the wider business. Equality, accountability, respect, kindness. It's how we wanted to operate internally, but also the foundation of any meaningful and healthy relationship. Accountability was key internally. We do not tolerate unkind behavior. We do not tolerate disrespectful behavior. What we were trying to persuade society to look at, we had to make sure we were doing in-house. And growth, this is a more recent one. If we can't grow, and if we're not growing, and we just function as a philanthropic entity, we cannot reinvest into campaigns and components that can really change equality at large. 2, practice what you preach. Don't say that you're trustworthy if you lie the next day. It's important that you stick by that and remain true to those principles. This is an example of our Bumble in real life. Everything we do online, we take offline. We're constantly seesawing back from both components to reinforce to our customers, our users, and our culture internally that the 2 should coexist together. Not only is that the case in terms of offline activity, but we're constantly innovating in-app, in-product, feature evolution and innovation to make sure that we're listening to our user base. The more we listen, and Anna touched on this before, the more they trust us. Your community feels heard, and the discrepancy between a brand and customer, the journey becomes shorter and the trust gets elevated. Keep practicing. It's not enough to practice once. Everything you do, through letters to our customers and consumers and people that have been badly behaved on the app. This particular piece, we wrote a letter to one of our users who fat-shamed another female user. We wrote a very open, honest letter to him, telling him his behavior was unacceptable. It got picked up by Glamour, the Huffington Post, Vogue, the New York Times. People want to see this type of collaboration and communication with their users. And as I mentioned before, everything we do in-app, product-wise, we also do offline to reinforce that it might be a feature in-app and it might be a scientific development, but we're trying to secure and fix a human problem. Talking openly with your community, this sort of goes back to what I mentioned a minute ago. Having that open dialogue with your customer is crucial to building that trust and that brand equity. It's also crucial to make sure that they feel heard and wanted and listened to, so that they engage and endorse and advocate for your product for so much longer. These are a couple of examples. I've got 45 seconds, so I'm going to show you my favorite slide. Way, end of the day. This is one of our opening statements. We all laugh. Who wants to receive a dick pic? Has anyone liked receiving a dick pic? No. I mean, if one person can tell me that they enjoyed it, I will listen. But fundamentally, nobody wants to see it. But no other brand had stood up and said, no one wants to see your aubergine. Don't send it to us. The way we talk to our customers and users and consumers is the way that you would talk to your girlfriends in the pub. 12 seconds! Enable your community. We do offline events. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Enable your community. Offline events, we do lots of them. Empowering your community. This is also the last, but probably the most important piece. We want to make sure that when we do ad campaigns or marketing initiatives, we're not just throwing money at big celebrities. We want to use our customers and our users to tell the story for us. This is a campaign we did at the end of last year in New York. Instead of investing our money into 5 or 6 big celebrities, we heroed 100 of our users across every single vertical. We gave them promotion, front cover features, out-of-home amplification through advertising, interviews in various different publications, social support, and we really supported them in all of their businesses. So not only did we promote each and every one of them, but actively it looked like, to people that hadn't heard of Bumble before, that they would actually be able to go onto the product and meet these people. These were real people using the app. And just a couple of last examples of campaigns that we've done to really ensue change. So as I mentioned before, we have, and I really believe, a lot of my job is to take a care of duty for what we're trying to achieve for society at large. And every campaign that any of our teams run, internationally or globally, have a form of social impact around them. We've managed to create a way of developing this brand that means that we can still be a profitable business when we're actually making change for society. So a film initiative we launched last year to find 5 of untold female stories around female empowerment, a music initiative that we launched last month in Amsterdam to find the next female DJ. Now these are industries where women are underrepresented, and conversation and awareness, it's not enough. So what I'm trying to do and what we're trying to do as a business is to create a platform that can actively and tangibly create numerical change in terms of those numbers. And just the last example, we have a Bumble fund for any budding entrepreneurs, people that don't have necessary access to opportunity or understand the nature of what a private equity fund could offer you. So we created it. And this is using our budget and our marketing spends to reinvest in culture at large. Thank you. Thank you.